Hi students. So the next concept in the chapter application of derivatives. In this chapter the next concept is maxima and minima. This is one of the very important concept even in the examination point of view, board examination point of view, as well as your competitive examination point of view also. This is one of the most important concept coming under the chapter application of derivatives. So today in this video I am completely talking about the practical idea regarding the maxima and minima. The theoretical approach will be easily understood when you are clearly understood the practical point of view. Once the practical point of view or the practical idea is understood for you people, means then the theoretical approach is damn easy to understand by reading the statement if you have understood the practical idea. Now let us consider a function, say f of x. I am considering a function, say f of x. Let it be our x-axis and y-axis. Let the function be like this. So this is the function f of x which I have considered. So within the interval a comma b. So when I consider within the open interval a comma b. So when I consider a function f of x within the open interval a comma b, there exists a point c which is belonging to our open interval a comma b, such that at c we are going, what the point we are going to get, this is the point f of c, where f of c, this point is the maximum value of a given function. Then such point, this point is called as what? Point of maxima. Point C, which is called as point of maxima or point of maximum value. We are calling point C as point of maxima or point of maximum value. And this point f of C at which we got the maximum value, this point is called as what? Maximum value. So or else what we can say regarding the maximum value is that f of c, it is greater than f of x for all x which is belonging to an open interval a comma b. So within the interval a comma b, if you consider any point within the interval a comma b, at point c, f of c is greater among all the values of x. So f of c is greater for all greater than f of x for all x belonging to a comma b, means then we call f of c as the maximum value and point c is called as point of maxima or point of maximum value. Similarly, if I consider the another function, say f of x, this is the another function, say f of x within the interval a comma b, within the open interval a comma b, such that within that interval we are going to get a point c which is within that interval a comma b itself, such that f of c, here what you are going to get at point c within the interval a comma b, this is the least value what we are going to get. Then this point c is called as what? That point c is called as point of minima or point of minimum value, and the point with respect to this c, what we got on the function or the curve f of x, this point is called as what? This point is called as minimum value. So please understand the difference between what we are going to call for this and what we are calling for this. This point is called as point of minima or point of minimum value, and f of c, this point is called as minimum value. Or else we can say that f of c is less than f of x for all x which is belonging to a comma b, then we call f of c as what? It is called as minimum value, and the point c is called as what? Point of minima or minimum value. Suppose within the given interval a comma b, if a function f of x, it is neither having point of within the interval a comma b, there exists a point c which is belonging to a comma b, such that at the point c, the respective function, what we are going to get, f of c, if it is neither having maximum value or minimum value, if it is not having maximum value or minimum value, means then we are calling this point f of c is called as extreme value. F of c is called as extreme value, and this point c where we are not at all having neither maximum or minimum, then that point is called as point of extreme. This is called as the point of extreme or extreme point, one or the same, or extreme point or point of extreme. So this is a basic thing regarding the maximum value and the minimum value. The next concept what we are studying under this one is local maxima and local minima. So before going to local maxima and local minima, so I will make one thing clear. So if there is a given function, say f of x, means it is need not to be, it should have only one maximum value or only one minimum value. It can have has many number of maximum value and minimum value. Suppose if I consider a sine function, means as you know this is the graph of a sine function, you can see there are infinitely many maximum values and infinitely many minimum values. So it can have more than one maximum values as well as the minimum values. So the next concept is local maxima and local minima. So understand these concepts very clearly. So first thing, I have considered one of a random function, say f of x, within the interval say I, let it be any interval say I. So this is a graph of a function f of x. Now within this graph you can see many peaks and many valleys here. So at the point say c1 we are having a peak, and at the point c2 we are having a valley, c3 another peak, c4 another valley, c5, c6. So like this we are having many peaks and many valleys, so that we are having some maximum values and minimum values. So what is this local maxima or local minima is saying is, within the local interval, which point it is attaining a maximum value or minimum value. So to be said in a very clear manner means, suppose if this is a function within the interval say a comma b, means then at a point c if it is attaining a maximum value, means now suppose if I consider a small interval within the given interval, such that within that interval this point is attaining at c is a point at which we are attaining a maximum point, means then this is called as what, this point c is called as what, local maxima, and this point is called as maximum value. Similarly for the minimum value also, so you can understand it clearly. So at the point c1 we are attaining here maximum value. Suppose if I consider a small positive term such as h which is greater than 0, such that if I say c1 minus h, means it is lying somewhere here, c1 minus h, and c2 plus h it is lying somewhere here. So c1 minus h and c2 minus h means what happens, it is coming, that point is coming somewhere here on the graph, and c2 plus h point it is coming somewhere here in the graph. Now you can see here within this interval c1 is attaining the maximum value, then this point c1 is called as what, local maximum. So not local maximum, it is called as local maxima. So what it is saying is, the point at which the function is attaining the maximum value within the local interval from the whole interval which we have, the local interval which we have considered from the whole interval. So here I was the whole interval from here to here. Within that I have considered one small interval, say C1 minus H to C1 plus H. This is the small interval which I have considered. Within this interval I have got a point, say C1, at which we are having a maximum, f of C1 is attaining the maximum value. Then this point is called as what? Local maxima, which is attained within the local interval considered from the whole interval. So to be said in a verbal way means, how it is means, f of x it is greater, f of c is greater than f of x for all x which is belonging from x, from where to where it is belonging, for all x which is belonging from C1 minus H to C1 plus H. So here the C1, it was C1, right? So f of C1 is greater than f of x for all x belonging to C1 minus H to C1 plus H means, then this point is called as what? C1 point is called as what? Local maxima. Similarly for the local minima also you can consider. So suppose if I consider a small point, a small quantity h which is greater than 0, such that C2 minus h it is lying somewhere here, and C2 plus h it is lying somewhere here. So now within the interval C2 minus h to C2 plus h, we have got a point, say C2, at which C2 is a point at which we are attaining a minimum value. So f of C2 is going to get a minimum value. So at which point? At the point C2. Then C2 is called as what? Local minima. So to be said in the verbal way means what? F of C2 is less than f of x for all x which is belonging to C2 minus h to C2 plus h means, then that point within the, we have considered a small interval from the whole interval there, which is a local interval. So within that local interval we have got a point at which we are having a minimum value. So this point C2 is called as what? A local minima. So this is what a so it in this, within the whole interval we are having, at point C1 we are having local maxima, at the point C3 is also we are having local maxima, at the point C3 also we are having local maxima. Suppose if it continues, if I say C7 means at this point also we are having a local maxima. Similarly at C2 we are having local minima, C4 also we are having local minima, and C6 also we are having local minima. So within the interval we can have as many local maxima and local minima. But when I say the word, say absolute maxima or absolute minima means, at that time what happens? Out of all these maximum value, which is the most maximum value, that will become the absolute maxima, and out of which is the most minimum value, this point will become the absolute minima. So that is what. So absolute maxima or absolute minima is also a local maxima or local minima. So unless and until we have said, if we are asked what is the absolute maxima in this function means, at that time this is only absolute maxima. Or else if I ask what is the absolute minima of this graph means, this is the only point at which we are going to get absolute minima. But when I ask about what is the local maxima or local minima means, all these points are local maxima and all these points are local minima. So you will understand. I think it might be confusing while going through all these things, but you are going to get familiar as we go step by step, and it takes some time to understand also. So here we are having a first derivative test to find the local maxima and local minima. So this test will help us to find the local maxima and local minima. So you might have the thing when we are going to find local maxima, when we are going to find local minima, how we can identify whether, if they have asked the question find the maximum value means whether it is a local maximum value or absolute maximum value. So all these things or all these concepts will be get cleared through step by step, because this concept is a vast concept and you are going to study it step by step here. So the first derivative step. So I am going to say with the step how we are going to find the local maxima and local minima step by step. So first thing is, if they are used to give a function, say f of x be the given function, okay, of from that given function, first let us find what is its f dash of x and equating that f dash of x is equal to 0. So to understand these steps, I am simultaneously doing one of the problems so that you will understand the step as well as the problem clearly. So here the question itself is to find the local maxima and local minima of the function f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. So the function is given. What is the step 1 is saying? The given function f of x is equal to x cube minus 3x plus 3. So finding the f dash of x, what is that f dash of x? 3x square minus 3, and equating that f dash of x is equal to 0. That means what happens? 3x square minus 3 is equal to 0. This implies 3x square is equal to 3. So x square is equal to 1. So value of x is equal to plus or minus 1. So x is equal to 1 and x is equal to minus 1. So these points, what we are going to get, these points are called as what? Critical points. Okay. So by equating f dash of x is equal to 0, I used to get the points, say a comma b, or how many depends upon those things, and these points are called as what? Critical points. The next step is step 2. What is that step 2? We are going to plot that critical points on the number line. Suppose if it is an angle, means then we are going to plot the angles upon the angle line, not on the number line. So if this is a number line, means I am going to plot, say, a comma b. Similarly here step 2, what happens? We got here x is equal to 1 and minus 1. So I am going to plot those points on the number line. So this is our point minus 1 and this is our point 1. So now you can see here the intervals. So what is those intervals? Minus infinity to minus 1. Another one is minus 1 to 1. Another one is 1 to infinity. So the next step is we need to check, as we used to do in the increasing and decreasing function, in which interval the function is increasing and in which interval function is decreasing. Our step 3 is what? Step 3 is to check in which interval the function is increasing and decreasing. Okay. So our agenda is to find not increasing or decreasing function in which interval. Our agenda is to find local maxima and local minima. So to find that one, we need to know in which interval the function is increasing or decreasing. So from minus infinity to minus 1 means I am going to take, say, point minus 2. Means how we are going to find in which interval the function is increasing or decreasing? If f dash of x it is greater than 0 means the function is increasing. If f dash of x it is less than 0 means then the function is decreasing. So what is our f dash of x here? Our f dash of x, that is equal to 3x square minus 3. Suppose if I take a point, say minus 2 means what happens? Minus 2 whole square is 4. 4 3s are 12. 12 minus 3, we are going to get 9, which is greater than 0. So the value of f dash of x here is, or the sign of f dash of x here, it is positive. From minus 1 to 1, I am going to take 0. 0 means minus 3. The value of f dash of x here, it is negative. Okay. Similarly, from 1 to infinity, say 2 means what happens? 2 square it is 4. 4 3s are 12. 12 minus 3 is again 9. So again here it is positive. So f dash of x is positive. That means what happens here? From minus infinity to infinity, the function is increasing. From minus 1 to 1, the function is decreasing. And from 1 to infinity, again the function is increasing here. So now we have checked in which interval the function is increasing and function is decreasing. Okay, after that what is our step 4 means, suppose if this is a critical point, to the left side of the critical point, if it is positive, I mean f dash of x, it is positive, that means the function is increasing. To the left side of the critical point, it is f dash of x, it is negative, that is the function is decreasing. Means what happens, at point A we are going to get, and this point A is called as local maxima. So to the left side of the critical point, if it is the f dash of x, it is positive, and to the right side of critical point, if it is negative, means then the point A is called as local maxima. Similarly, to the critical point, left side of the critical point, if it is negative, f dash of x is negative, and to the right side of a critical point, if f dash of x, it is positive, means then the point B is called as what? Local minima. So you can see here clearly from minus infinity to minus 1, here the sign of f dash of x, it is positive. From 1 to minus 1 to 1, the sign of f dash of x, it is negative. From 1 to infinity, the sign of f dash of x, it is positive. So here our minus 1 and 1 are the critical point. So to the left of critical point, it is positive. To the right of minus 1 critical point, it is negative. So positive, negative means what? Positive, negative means at x is equal to minus 1, this point is what? It is a local maxima. Similarly, at the point 1, to the left side we are having negative value, to the right side we are having the positive value. To the critical point 1 means then at x is equal to 1 we are attaining local minima. So these are the 4 steps which you need to follow. Step 1, taking f dash of x is equal to 0. Step 2, we are plotting those critical points on the number line. After that, step 3, the sign of in which interval f dash of x is increasing, in which interval f dash of x it is decreasing, we are finding that one. And in the step 4, we are using this one towards the left side and right side of the critical point. We are looking into the sign of f dash of x, whether it is increasing or decreasing. Regarding to that one, we are going to say in which critical point the function is having local maxima and local minima. So this is a theoretical, I mean the how we are going to find the local maxima and local minima. So what is the logic behind this one? So I have said taking f dash is equal to 0, plotting that number line, checking for the increasing and decreasing, and then I have said that left and right side, checking this side is positive and negative, and as I said we are following this 4 step to find the local maxima and local minima. So what is the logic behind this one? So let us see that one. Suppose now if I consider a function, say f of x. So this is our function, say f of x. Okay, as I said, f dash of x is equal to 0. Okay, I am simultaneously doing the minimum thing also, so that you will understand both the things simultaneously. This is also another function, say f of x. So here you can see at this point here, say A, and at this point say B. Here at the point A you are having the f of A, it is a maximum value, and this is a local maxima, and here at the point B you are attaining the local minimum, local minima. So we are looking for what is the common thing here. So the common thing what you can see here is slope of a tangent to the given curve at A and B, that is equal to 0. That is, if you draw the tangent at this point with respect to the point A on the curve f of x, means whatever the slope of the tangent you are going to get, that is equal to 0. So slope of a tangent equal to 0 means what does that implies? That means the line is parallel to the x-axis. Similarly, at the point B, if you draw the tangent, means what happens? You are going to get a line which is parallel to this x-axis, and the slope of a tangent of a given curve at the point B is equal to 0. So slope of a tangent of a given curve at A and B is equal to 0 means what does that implies? That implies f dash of x is equal to 0. That is what the first point is we are taking. So f dash of x is equal to 0. F dash of x is equal to 0 means at those point, if we draw the slope of a tangent of a given curve, means we are going to get the tangents parallel to the x-axis. So what is these critical points you are going to get? The critical points are those points. This points itself is a critical point. Here A and B itself is the critical point. So those are the points. At the critical point itself, you are going to get either local maxima or local minima value. So you don't know whether it is a local maxima or local minima. Whatever the critical point you are going to get within the interval, at those point itself you are going to get whether it is a local maxima or local minima. That itself is the critical point, and the critical point is obtained by equating, that is f dash of x is equal to 0. That itself is the direct meaning or the logic or the diagrammatical approach regarding this one. So after that, you will plot those points on the number line. As I said, we are going to plot those points, say A and B, upon the number line. So what they are saying, we are checking in which interval the function is increasing and function is decreasing. So what we are saying, f dash of x is greater than 0 means then the function is increasing. What does that implies? F dash of x is greater than 0 means slope f dash of x, it is greater than 0 means what does that imply? Slope of a tangent of the given curve, that one is positive. So slope of a tangent of a given curve is positive means obviously the tangent will be, if the curve is somewhat like, the tangent will be like this, because the angle, it is positive, slope is positive means the angle should be an acute angle. Similarly, the function f dash of x, it is less than 0. So from this interval, as I said here, from minus this side, minus infinity to minus 1, it is positive means the slope is positive. F dash of x is positive or greater than 0 means what happens? The slope will be, the tangent will be somewhat like this. Similarly, it is negative means what happens? The slope will be somewhat, the tangent will be somewhat like this, such that the angle formed by this tangent with respect to the x-axis, it is an obtuse angle. So when the tangents are from the left side of the critical point, if it is like this, to the right side of the critical point, if it is like this, means somewhere we are going to get a curve such that at the point, whatever the curve it is, we are going to get the maximum point at the point, say critical point at A. Similarly, here you can see here, from at the point B to the left side of the critical point, if we are having negative means obviously if we draw the tangent means it is like this. So tangent, if it is like this, means obviously if we extend this means we are going to get an obtuse angle. So obtuse angle means the slope f dash of x, it will be less than 0. Similarly, positive f dash of, to the right side, if it is positive means angle will be somewhat like this. If we extend this one means with respect to the positive x-axis, we are going to get angle positive. So less than f dash of x is less than 0, greater than 0. So obviously the curve, it will be somewhat like this, such that at the point B we are going to get what? Maximum value. So this point will be called as local maximum. So this is the logic lying behind the local maxima and local, that is what here the positive and negative what we have written, that is going to imply. Okay, so this is how, if it is positive means the tangent will be somewhat like this, negative means tangent will be somewhat like this. Negative here to the left side of negative means the tangent will be obviously somewhat like this, we are going to get the obtuse angle, and positive means the tangent will be somewhat like this. So obviously here we are going to get the minimum value, and here we are going to get the local maxima value. So this is what the first derivative test is saying. Suppose if with respect to the critical point, if to the left side is also it is positive, and to the right side also it is positive, or to the left side also it is negative, and to the right side of the critical point also, if it is both the side, if it is positive itself and or it is negative itself, means then that point is called as point of inflection. Point of inflection. So upon both the side of a critical point, if you are having the same sign, means then such points are called as point of inflection. So we understood what is local maxima and local minima clearly. So now let us get what is this point of inflection also with the clear idea. Suppose now if I consider a function f of x is equal to x cube, means our first step to find, you don't know whether we are having a local maxima or local minima here. So first step what we used to do, we used to find our f dash of x, that is equal to 3x square, and equating that one is equal to 0. We are going to get x is equal to 0 as a critical point. So when I am going to get x as equal to 0, I am going to plot that point x is equal to 0. So now with respect to this, we are having now two intervals. One is minus infinity to 0, another one from 0 to infinity. Suppose if I take our f dash of x, it is equal to what? 3x square. Suppose if I take our x is equal to minus 1, means what happens? Minus 1 square, it is 1 itself. 3 into 1, 1, it is positive. The sign of f dash of x, it is positive from minus infinity to 0. So from 0 to infinity, if I take x is equal to 1, means what happens? 1 square, it is 1. 3 into 1 is 3. Again it is positive. So with respect to the critical point x is equal to 0, towards the left side of the critical point also it is positive. Towards the right side of that critical point also the value it is positive. So then point x is equal to c. This point is called as what? That point is called as point of inflection. So this is regarding the point of inflection. So there is one of the statement or the theorem based upon which one local maxima and local minima they are saying. Suppose if I consider a function f of x within the interval say I, and suppose if c is any point which is belonging to that interval I, means, and if at x is equal to c, if we are having local maxima or local minima, if at x is equal to c, if that function is attaining local maxima or local minima at x is equal to c, it is attaining, means then either f dash of c is equal to 0 or f is not differentiable at x is equal to c. So that is what we have studied till now. Suppose if I consider a function f of x, so within the interval a comma b, so within this interval a comma b, suppose if there exists a point c which is belonging to a comma b, such that if we are having a local maxima, here we have attained local maxima, right? So if it is attaining local maxima, means either f dash is equal to 0. So at this point if we differentiate, means f dash of c is equal to 0. So either f dash of c is equal to 0 or f is not differentiable at x is equal to c. What does that means? F is not differentiable at x is equal to c means, suppose now if I consider a function say f of x is equal to x, where x is belonging to the interval 1 to 5, if I consider this as a function. So how the graph of this function, since it is a linear function, the graph of the function will be like this. So what happens? This is a minimum value. The minimum value which you have attained, it is 1, and the maximum value which you attained, it is equal to 5. So the minimum value is 1 and the maximum value is 5. But you can see at the extreme points, we cannot differentiate the function. So we cannot differentiate the functions at the extreme points. So what happens, since we cannot differentiate the functions at the extreme points, the function f is not differentiable. So here f is not differentiable at the point where you are going to get the maximum value and the minimum value. At that point the function itself is not differentiable. So that is what here it is saying. Or else, suppose if you consider a modulus function, suppose if you consider this one as a modulus function, means you can clearly see the modulus function is attaining the minimum value. It is attaining the minimum value at which one? At the point x is equal to 0. Okay, but you can see, since we are having a bent here, we are having a sharp edge, sharp tip you can say. So at this sharp edge we cannot differentiate, we cannot draw the tangent at the sharp edge. So what happens here at this point, the point at which we are attaining the minimum value, at that point a function, modulus function, is not differentiable. It is not differentiable. So that is what here it is saying. Suppose if within the given interval, say if we are going to attain a local maxima or local minima at a point, say C, means then either f dash of C is equal to 0 or f is not differentiable at x is equal to C. So this is regarding to this theorem regarding f is not differentiable. We have explained the two examples to understand it clearly, and to regarding either f dash of C is equal to 0. So this one you have already came across while I am explaining local maxima and local minima. So this is regarding the complete video regarding the local maxima and local minima. So this is the small part, first part of our maxima and minima. The next part we are going to continue with the second derivative test regarding the absolute value, how and all it is going to depend. So first clearly understand what is this local maxima and local minima clearly, and regarding the first derivative test, how we are going to find the local maxima and local minima within the given interval. Suppose if you have any doubts regarding this video, means you can ask me at any time. Thank you students.